The countdown has begun. Are you ready for the election?
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true. Thank you.
Up next, I hope you'll enjoy a skit by Pedro Sanchez.
U.S. Elections, Neither Free Nor Fair. By Alex Skorka. Media across the world are literally transfixed by the spectacle of U.S. elections. The Donald Trump-Hillary Clinton, Republicans versus Democrats battle is captivating enough to distract public attention from other issues. Democracy promotion has been the centerpiece of U.S. foreign policy for over half a century since the days when President Woodrow Wilson crafted a new foreign policy that involved active democracy promotion.
Said to the American people, regardless of which side you were on in the election, regardless of whether your candidate won or lost, the sun would come up in the morning. And that is one bit of prognosticating that actually came true. The sun is up. And I know everybody had a long night. I did as well. I had a chance to talk to President-elect Trump last night, about 3:30 in the morning, I think it was, to congratulate him on winning the election. And I had a chance to invite him to come to the White House tomorrow to talk about making sure that there is a successful transition between our presidencies. Now, it is no secret that the President-elect and I have some pretty significant differences. But remember, 8 years ago, President Bush and I had some pretty significant differences. But President Bush's team could not have been more professional.
Don't you have what you want? When you have all the information that you need, you have the contacts that you need, there are probably free tools online that allow you to start a business or join a group or do whatever the heck you want. It all comes down to one word. Shut the front door, you know what I'm talking about? The F-bomb. It's everywhere. You hear it all the time, and I honestly don't understand what the appeal is of the word. I mean, you don't sound smart when you say it. And it's really not expressing how you really feel. It's sort of a cheap, shot to take. And of course, I'm talking about the word fine. How you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Oh, really? You are? Dragging around those extra 40 pounds? You're fine? Feeling like roommates with your spouse? And you're fine? You haven't had sex in 4 months? You're fine? Really? I don't think so. But see, here's the deal with saying that you're fine. It's actually genius. Because if you're fine, you don't have to do anything about it. But when you think about this word fine, it just makes me so angry. I mean, here we are at a conference about being alive, and you're going to describe the experience of being alive as fine? What a flimsy and feeble word. If you're crappy, say you're crappy. If you're amazing, say you're amazing.
New version of social justice, a version where anything the left does is just and everything else is intolerant. But one of the criticisms and backhanded insults tossed around by the mainstream to explain Trump's win was uneducated voters. Yeah, those without a college degree. Somehow a piece of paper has now become the standard for intelligence and the new bar for an educated voter. Well, let's take a look at some educated voters. Attending college does not make one smarter, classier, or anything else. I'm really tired of those on the right and left talking down to Trump supporters like we're dum-dums. Some of us have degrees, some of us don't, but most of us are hardworking people that have built businesses, families, served our country, and followed the law. If you think that makes us any less than you, you're dead wrong. But it's no longer Trump supporters versus Hillary supporters. That's over. That ended Tuesday night. President-elect Donald Trump has opened his arms to all Americans, so it's up to you now. No one is asking you to bow at his feet, but your protests and tantrums aren't doing anything for this country. You have every right to do it, but you're just kind of making fools of yourselves at this point, and that's up to you. Those are my final thoughts. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tommy Lahren. From Dallas, good night.
Donald Trump, 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 I chill from Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
What, Charlie? Charlie, what do you want to say?
Go, girl. 10, Roger, about 5 miles or so. Yeah, them honks is getting intense up here.
New Mexico on I-40 like a Texas lizard on glass. 1,000 pedals was mashing the metal and bears was a walking the grass. We trucked all day and we trucked all night, Big Benny improving our style. We could tell by the smell we was heading for hell, and the devil was Dirty Lyle. And he hated his truck, and he loved to bust truckers for fun. So he followed the line, and he bided his time, and he watched for his chance to strike. Then he picked on a trucker, yeah, wiry old sucker, yeah, the trucker they call Spider Mike. But the great rubber duck sort of run out of luck when he crossed that final bridge. There's choppers and rigs full of guns and pigs, they's wall to wall on the ridge. He showed no fear as he grabbed his gear, and he stuck it to Granddaddy Low. Them guns went boom, and his ass went zoom, and the Mac took a terminal blow.
How about you, Big Nasty? Come on there, say, listen, Big Nasty, we sure are glad you're along on this here run to kick ass, don't you know? On 10-4, I know you can't see kick ass over see me. Back?
Well, that big black Mac stopped dead in their tracks.
Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Janine Pirro. Thanks for being with us. Tonight, my opening a little different. I want you to come along with me as I track the facts of Hillary Clinton's email scandal. And at the end, I believe that you will agree there is evidence she violated the law and that she cannot and must not become president of the United States. So Hillary decides to conduct State Department business not on a state.gov, but on a personal email in serviced by a server in her Westchester home. The reason? Convenience. Why carry all those pesky Blackberries? But has she been truthful? Fact. January of 2009 confirmed as Secretary of State she is responsible for making and preserving State Department records under the Federal Records Act of 1950. A few months later, the regulations are updated, requiring that if someone uses a non-agency email, they must ensure they are preserved. CFR 1236.22. Fact. 9 days after the Benghazi attack in 2012, Congress seeks all information related to that attack. But nothing is handed over by Hillary or the State Department. Fact. While the State Department is receiving thousands of FOIA requests by the courts, the press, and citizens like you, State Department lawyers swear there's nothing of Hillary's to provide and take no steps to preserve or even ask her for records. Fact. Congressman and ex-U.S. attorney subpoenas Hillary Clinton's Benghazi documents. She even denies that she was subpoenaed.
You state that you never received a subpoena. You did get one in March. Couldn't be more plain. The Honorable Hillary R. Clinton.
Now, Hillary denies there are any Benghazi emails in spite of photos showing her using her BlackBerry on the way to Libya. And when Hillary's friend Sidney Blumenthal is forced to comply with his subpoena, he produces several Benghazi-related emails with Hillary, putting truth to the lie that she had none. Hillary, now in panic mode. She, with her aides, go through more than 61,000 emails, deleting 31,000 she says are personal. And of the 30,000 that she hands over, she says there is no classified information in them.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. So I'm certainly well aware of the classification requirements.
But the Inspector General says in a sampling of just 40 emails, 4 contain classified information. Her defense? They weren't marked classified. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. The truth? They couldn't be marked classified because by not using government servers, she actually prevented the government from reviewing her emails. Had she done so, they would have seen material that was classified and she would not have been able to hit the send button. Did Hillary Clinton make a false statement when she appeared before Congress and said there was no classified information on her emails? Which her lawyer, Cheryl Mills, confirmed in a letter to a federal judge. If it's a lie, it's a violation of 18 U.S.C. 1001. And this week, it's revealed. The marking top secret in an email that included satellite locations and drones had been removed before it was sent to Hillary. More panic. The inner circle. Huma Abedin. Lawyer Cheryl Mills, all 3 of them communicating via that private server, have their emails subpoenaed. Might one of them have removed the marking top secret? And if so, why? Are they co-conspirators in this elaborate effort to prevent government records from being archived and captured? And why was Huma Abedin paid by the State Department, a Clinton-connected company, and the Clinton Foundation? Was that trio on the same server to provide plausible deniability to Hillary so she could raise hundreds of millions of dollars through her so-called not-for-profit Clinton Foundation. And if Hillary made classified information available to a person not entitled to receive it in a manner detrimental to the U.S., it is a federal Class A felony under 18 U.S.C. 798. If Hillary kept classified information at an unauthorized location, she's committed a Class A misdemeanor under 18 U.S.C. 1924, the statute, by the way, that was used to prosecute General Petraeus. Now, some argue there was no intent. If there was no intent, folks, then why did she issue a warning to all of her own State Department employees not to conduct State Department business on personal emails? And if there was no intent, why did she refuse to allow the inspector generals who had oversight over her State Department into her State Department? But I've got news for you. We don't need intent. It is a federal crime to negligently handle classified information under 18 U.S.C. 1924. And finally, Hillary, why did you wipe your server clean? Did you delay so you could get rid of evidence? If you did, it's called obstruction and tampering. And by the way, I don't know what took the FBI so long to try to get it. But Hillary, if that server has been scrubbed so clean that even FBI experts cannot reconstruct your emails, that tells me you did everything you possibly could to prevent anyone from knowing what you were doing while you were our Secretary of State. My verdict, based on the evidence, is guilty. What's yours?
Emails that may tie President Obama into all of this. What is the latest on that? While I remind everyone that he has always maintained publicly, Ed, that he didn't know she was keeping that private server.
That's exactly right, Sandra. And it's very interesting. In the last 5 minutes, we've gotten yet another very interesting email from the hacked emails from John Podesta's account. I'll get to that in a moment. But you're right. There's two major facts here under fire. Number one, President Obama saying he didn't really know anything about the email server. He rarely emailed with Hillary Clinton. And secondly, Hillary Clinton telling the American people again and again she turned over all work-related email. Well, let's look at the first one, and we'll get to the second. But the first one we've gotten from John Podesta. It turns out on March 4th of 2015, he wrote to Cheryl Mills, the top Clinton aide, quote, "Think we should hold emails to and from POTUS, as in the president? That's the heart of his executive privilege. We could get them to ask for that. They may not care, but it seems like," he says, "they will." Look at the timeline. That is on March 4th. Well, what was going on then? On March 3rd, the day before that, Republican Trey Gowdy issued a subpoena demanding that Hillary Clinton preserve all of her emails and other records. Fast forward to March 20th, that same month. 2015, Trey Gowdy demanded that the server be turned over. Then, I mentioned an email we just got in the last 5 minutes. Another one we found on March 22nd, 2 days after Gowdy asked for the server. There were some email exchanges about the president and Hillary Clinton meeting together at the White House. That meeting we learned about at the time, but the fact that it was happening now in this context of them deciding, do we hold some emails between them or not? And then they actually met behind closed doors. All of this very interesting, Sandra.
Wow, Ed, it sounds like we also have some sensational information regarding Clinton donors and more problems for the Clinton Foundation now?
Yeah, a leaked email showing that after Chelsea Clinton raised questions about their governance there at the foundation, against the wishes of some of her father's friends, the former President Bill Clinton, a law firm known for focusing on philanthropic issues was brought in, conducted a major review in 2010, and concluded, quote, "Some interviewees reported conflicts of those raising funds or donors, some of whom may have an expectation of quid pro quo benefits in return for gifts." Mike Pence, the Republican running mate for Donald Trump, spoke out on all of this morning on Fox and Friends.
But at the time that many in the national media are chasing after these unsubstantiated allegations, it's remarkable to me they continue to literally ignore the hard evidence that's flowing out of Hillary Clinton's years as Secretary of State and the Clinton Foundation.
So you've heard from the Clinton camp. They've said it again and again. They're not going to engage on the accuracy of every one of these emails, but they believe the point is that Russia is intervening, hacking, they believe, into John Podesta's account, interfering in the U.S. election. They want to talk about that. Mike Pence and Donald Trump obviously want to talk about the substance of all this, Sandra.
All right, Ed Henry, thank you for that reporting.
Good to see you.
All right, we are